You're in your early 20s and you're making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You're traveling the world, as a professional skateboarder. What's life like?
Man, it was bizarre, man. I really was lazy, Smoked a lot of weed in that era, and wasn't committed to the craft, right? I think in that 21 to 24 era, I was very lost, right? Skateboarding wasn't giving me the fulfillment that I needed, right?
It wasn't?
Nah, so I was trying all this different stuff, like trying all these different skateboard companies, and I was getting hurt all the time, and
Why wasn't it giving you the fulfillment you needed?
I just didn't, it just wasn't enough, you know what I mean? It didn't feel like success to me, right? I was still like, there was still so much hunger for what success could be, but misguided hunger, where it was like I didn't have a stake in the ground to chase after anything. And it really wasn't till, I had a couple shoes now, right? And made some good money, and I'd begun designing the shoes, and at the time, Ken Block in DC, I was 24 years old, and they were basically like, your best years are behind you. We appreciate what you've done for us over the years, and we think we're gonna give you one more shoe and give you a 2-year contract to basically say thank you, and we think you're done. And
how'd you take it?
I remember sitting in there and looking at him and being like, man, I know it's not lip service, I'm not saying to say it, but in 2 years I'm gonna be a completely different person, and there's no way that this is, that I'm done and that this is the end, and I'm not even gonna say it, I'm just gonna prove it. And I literally left that place, started searching for hypnotists, right? And found the hypnotist, the great Dr. George Pratt, who wrote a book called Hyper Success, right? Unleashing your true inner belief that you believe you are meant to be successful. And I got hypnotized for success. And then literally in that 2-year span, became the best skateboarder of my entire career, but also to the very top of the industry. And then from that point on, only signed 2-year deals with DC for the next 10 years, because I was like, no, 2 years from now, you're gonna pay me even more, and 2 years after that. So I wouldn't even sign, everybody was signing 3- and 5-year deals. Up until 2 years ago, I signed a 7-year deal. Up until that point, at 38, I had only signed 2-year deals because of him telling me, we're gonna give you 2, we think we're hooking you up. And so now it's and now it became the benchmark of, no, every 2 years I'm going to be so much better and bigger than I was the previous 2 years, which.
So this hypnotist that you went to, you really believe this hypnotist was responsible for, or played a critical role in you becoming successful?
I believe so, yes.
Why?
I think it's understanding the period where you were in your life, and then ultimately, why were you so scattered for so long? Why were you so lost? And why did you spend 3 or 4 years desiring and wishing rather than working? And was it just that conversation of doubting me and someone questioning me that really turned on that much of a fire? It seems unlikely, and to then go through that process and go through this idea of only working on embedding subconsciously that you believe you were meant to be successful, nothing more, nothing less. And then you go and you make a run like I made. It's hard to believe otherwise, that it didn't have some sort of grand connection to it,
For more clips from this interview, visit GrahamBensinger.com.